Happy New Year, work wifeys. Welcome to our first 2024 Dear Work Wives episode.
Yay!
Can you believe it?
Welcome to the new year. I'm excited. I can't believe
Welcome to the
it.
new year.
Yeah.
So we probably don't have many actually, I have a question before What do you do for New Year's?
So we have friends over and we have a party.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But we bring all the kids come too.
Yeah, and they stay up till midnight?
They do now, yes. They used to not. We used to do the fake countdown at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
But now they all just stay up till midnight. And we watch
so
the countdown.
Fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. We play minute to win it games, and life size hunger hippo and that kind of stuff. And this year our theme is colors, so we all drew names and partnered up. So I'm with my friend's teenage daughter, and we're the color green. So we have to wear green and bring green food and drinks.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And there's a red team and a purple team.
So you don't have a rainbow. Do you play games or something? Is that why you have colors?
I think we just decided that was we saw these color parties on TikTok, and so we're like, oh, that'd be fun to do. We'll do games for sure. We always play games, but yeah, it's fun.
Gosh,
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. What about you? Put your kids to bed and then go to bed?
Yeah, usually I don't even last year I stayed up a little because my two queens were performing together, Dolly and Miley. Yes. They did a New Year's, show. And so I did stay up for a little bit to watch that. I don't even think I stayed up for the whole thing though, even for them, because still have to wake up early. So
yeah, it's a hard season you're in.
But yeah, because they don't understand New Year, they don't know what's going on. So we don't really. I mean, maybe Kit we'll do the fake countdown for her this year.
Mm-hmm. It's really fun. We did you can tape a shower curtain to your ceiling and fill it with balloons, and then you pull it down and then balloons fall. It's really fun.
That's cute.
So
sounds like a lot of work though.
I mean, yeah. But what else am I doing? Just Pinterest momming. That's what I do during the break. We talked about the last episode. That's what I do in between Christmas and New Year's is Pinterest mom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Pinterest momming. But they're old enough to help you now.
True. Yeah, they are. Much to their old enough, but yet not old enough,
Mm-hmm.
They're in the in-between age. It's tough.
Well, I thought today would be a fun time to talk about things that our New Year's traditions.
Okay.
As we go into a new year.
Perfect.
So what type of girly are you? Do you have resolutions? Do you do word of the year? Do you set goals? Do you create a vision board? There's all these different things that people do. What are there any others that you can think of that people
I think those are the top, resolutions, word, vision board, goal for the year. I think those are the top ones. This year was a goal girly. I set 3 goals, and as of recording, I'm very much on track to hit all of them. One of them, I'm 1 day shy. I'm never going to be able to recoup that day because I missed 1 day of reading when we were in Denver.
Oh yeah, it was my fault.
This wasn't your fault. It was the collective. I was, and in hindsight, it's I was traveling for work and was booked and busy from sun up to sundown, and then passed out watching a Reno show. So, but I think I'm a goal person. What's my goal for the year? Resolutions just feel too wishy-washy. I need what's the tangible thing? I don't know. And the word, I've tried because we have a few clients, one ex-client in particular who I really she's so good with her LinkedIn posts, her stuff really good. She always picks a word of the year, and it seems really inspiring, but I can't stick with it. The year's too long. Things change.
Yeah.
What about you?
I used to be a word of the year girly. It was very important to me to pick my word of the year, and I think it served me really well for a couple years, probably 3-4 years. I did it really well, and I would say that it made a big impact on my year. I haven't done it in a while, and I don't know if that's just because like I fell off the wagon of everything when I had children, and I feel like I'm just like starting to get back on and like focus on goals and, you know, myself again and like career ambitions, things like that. So maybe I will do a word, but like I remember when I first started my business, like my word of the year was bold, and I used it as like a filter for like every decision that I was making, and it really served me, you know, like because I probably wouldn't have done half the things if I wasn't like, no, like you committed to being bold this year, you know?
Right.
So I did really enjoy that, but I haven't done it in a few years. So I need to maybe think about, I would say I'm either that or I'm goals and or maybe like a combination. I'm not really a resolutions person because I just feel like I'm destined to fail on like a resolution versus a goal.
I know. I don't know why, because like they're very similar,
Kind of the same thing.
There's just something about a resolution that's never stuck, but like my goals have stuck, you know, when it's like, I'm going to do this consistently. And I think then they've always stuck in the last few years anyway. So,
yeah. So I think this year I want to write some goals. One other thing that I've been like feeling a pull towards, which I have not done probably since like 2015, 2016, is a paper like calendar journal thing.
Oh, like to journal or just to count, just to day plan?
To like day plan, set goals, and
like a bullet journal,
like intention set kind of thing.
Yeah, do it.
I'm like, why am I keep getting this pull to like write something down? You know?
Hey, you gotta follow those
with like a pen and paper.
You gotta follow those like nudges.
I know, but I feel like I'm gonna be the person who buys one and then never uses it. But
yeah, but
I'm gonna try. I think I want to try because over the past probably 5-6 years, I haven't used a paper one, and I would say that I'm less intentional with like my bigger personal goals because of that. Maybe not because of that, but like there's a trend.
Yes.
I don't know where to write them. I don't know where to keep track of them, you know?
Yeah.
My business stuff, it feels clear because we like do that together. But
yes, there's also other people involved. Yeah. I saw like a TikTok video of someone with their bullet journal, and they were tracking like their whole year. So they had a page that was like, what was my mood today? And they like had it color coordinated, and like, how did I sleep? And like they would track these things, and then they would look back over the year and kind of like look for trends and see like where they were. And I was like, oh, I wish I had the gumption to stick with that, because it seems like it would be really interesting data to look back on, you know?
Yeah, I want to see what hers looked like, because
I'll try to find the video and send it to you.
Love like an example for things like that, because I'm not creative, or I'm not like artistically creative in that way, but I still want it to look pretty. So if they have like a model of what to do, like I see myself like getting colored highlighters, you know?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll find it.
Like I need different colors.
Every color means something.
Tyler actually does this. He writes down every day, like
how he's feeling,
what he did, how he felt.
Good.
I mean, per the therapist, he has to do this, but he's been good about like staying on it, because he needs to like understand
the trends,
what makes a good day versus a bad day, you know?
Yeah. That was the number one thing my therapist suggested, was like, how about you write this stuff down? And actually like paying closer attention to it by sporadically writing it down and also tracking it in my cycle app was how we actually got to my PPD diagnosis, because I could see how much it was correlated with my cycles as opposed to just generalized anxiety. Like, you know what I mean? So there's definitely value in it.
It's always happening on these weeks.
It's very predictable. It's very trend, you know, except for this week. This week is not a PPD week, but it feels mentally like it is. So that's okay. That's life. Yeah. Yikes. So I think do it.
Okay. I'm gonna buy myself a physical.
I'll do it with you. We can hold each other accountable.
Do you want one too?
Yeah. Let's do it.
A physical day planner?
Yeah.
Do you want to buy the same one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'll look and I'll send you the link.
Okay. Perfect. We'll do it together and then we'll hold each other accountable.
Okay. And we'll update everybody. I would love to hear what other people do. Like if there's other things that you do to like help you start the new year feeling fresh. Because like I said, I'm not like a resolutions girl of like new year, new me.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my gosh, it's January 1st. Everything's going to change.
Yeah, but like there is something nice and fresh about a new year in some ways, but like you're not just going to wake up and be a new person without actually doing anything. So
right. But it's
how do you set that intention?
Like last year, I woke up on January 1st and I was like a little bit hungover, but not that hungover. I was like a respectable amount hungover after our New Year's Eve party. And I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. You know, like that's a great way to start the year. I woke up that day and it was like a brisk, but I went for a walk and I never stopped walking. And on that walk, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk every day this year because I always feel better when I get outside. And I haven't missed a day yet. And it's like late December as recording, right? So I feel like those are like the things where it's like the new year is like such a great time to be like, well, I've been feeling called to this and like, why not? Like now is as good a time as any. And I just found it easier to stick to. So
yeah. I think that's why I don't drink a lot in general, but especially on New Year's Eve is because
you don't want to wake up feeling crappy.
Yes, on the first day of the year, like I don't want to feel not good,
I totally like the last, I've obviously through my life gone through phases where some days I wake up feeling worse than others on the first.
Yeah, same.
I in general, like I do enjoy having the odd drink more than the odd drink, but I have really cut back in my drinking in the last year or two. But like my goals are always to strike the balance between like having silly fun and like it not impacting the next day, because as soon as it impacts the next day, any silly fun has been like wiped off the slate for me. It's like that was not worth it because I'm just now losing like valuable time with myself, my kids, my family. Like there's nothing worse to me than like rotting in bed all day with a hangover. But I do enjoy having like 2 glasses of champagne and feeling like, ooh, So
you know what's worse than rotting in bed all day with a hangover?
Oh, not being able to rot in bed all day because your kids won't let you.
Having to parent your 2 small children with a hangover.
Yeah, like, it's torture.
That was the worst thing. I really have only had to do it one time because I haven't really drank a lot. And a few months ago, I went to, like, we took a party bus and we went to a football game.
Yeah.
We drank, like, all day, all night, like, was doing shots, which I never do because I know that is a terrible decision. Idea. But for some reason, and then we were planning on, like, when we got to the stadium, like, not drinking. Because when I went to school, you couldn't, like, buy alcohol at the stadium.
Right.
Well, now you can buy alcohol at the stadium. And so we kept drinking. We were like, oh, I'll buy this like margarita thing. It was like a margarita in a can. I was like, sure, I'll try that. I mean, it was like $15, so I'm sure the students can't afford it, but I could,
Yeah.
So then we like kept drinking throughout the game. And then by the time we got home, like,
no.
Thankfully,
you're also
I didn't
not
drink
a drinker
on the way home.
That's key.
But the next day I was
rough.
Both Tyler and I were miserable, Yeah,
like, it's hard when it's both of you. James and I have a rule. I can't really be both of us. Like, that's just not, it's not fair to the kids.
We were both just like barely surviving. And so it was not a good choice, but it was fun. It was a really fun day. I wouldn't like take it back, but
it has to be worth it. You know what I mean? Like it has to be worth it. And it rarely is.
Yeah.
Well, if I get to come to the game next year, you might have to have 1 margarita in a can with me.
Oh, I'll definitely drink. We should just plan for childcare the next day. That's what I learned.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's what I learned. Is you don't just need childcare for the day of, you need it for also the next day.
Lila will be like pretty much old enough to babysit at that point, so it's fine.
Oh, that's perfect.
She'll be 11.
Just bring her.
So yeah.
I mean, especially in the house. We'll be
in the house, like we're there. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually watching Winter House the other day, which is a Bravo show.
So good.
It's for all the girlies out there who don't know Winter House, you know.
Get on it.
But all these people basically they go on like a vacation and they live in a house together and all they do is basically party. And like I was having like this like almost like secondhand embarrassment, like secondhand hangover regrets when I was like watching this show yesterday. I was like the way that they were waking up and they were all so miserable and like
and how dirty the house always is.
Yeah, like they were like, oh, why did I do that? Like making bad decisions, you know?
Fighting, drunk fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can feel that feeling in my body right now and I don't like it.
The anxiety.
You know, like I could feel it. Like the anxiety that they were having.
Yeah. Trauma
like,
response.
I don't like it. I don't like how I'm feeling and I'm not even actually there.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't do anything and I'm having the feeling that I hate.
Well, so hopefully when we come back and record after our holiday break, we'll be like anxiety free. I'm sure you will be. We'll see if I have any hangovers over the holidays.
Yeah, maybe like a gummy.
Maybe.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a better next day for me.
Gummy and puzzle. Put the Eras Tour movie on. Grandma's.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right.
Shall we do some stories?
I was like, I feel like we chit-chatted enough.
Kick the year off with a bang.
Okay.
Oh, wow. One of our stories disappeared, so that's cool.
Oh, perfect. Did you get the one that Sandy sent us?
I'll do that one now because 2 of the stories I had actually got deleted. That's weird. I wonder why. Okay. Let me find. Okay, here we go. So this is like a message thread between what I'm assuming is like an employer and an employee.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says, this is from the employer. Hey, blank. So we're going to cut tomorrow because of business. So you are off. I will see you Wednesday. And then the employee said, okay, did you happen to do payroll on Saturday? And if so, is there any way I can pick my money up today or tomorrow? I need to get some groceries and such. Back to employer.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't because as of right now, we didn't sell enough to pay you guys. That is how slow it is. So I will try to figure it out tomorrow. But since you're sharing with me about your food situation, I will share with you when I was your age and poor, which I was for years, I ate pasta and peanut butter and jelly and packed my lunch. So while that may suck totally, I know firsthand it does because I did it all through college and about 6 years into my 20s. And then again, the first years of my child's life. Perhaps you may want to budget for that. Also, every week you make more than me and I am trying to raise a child. So when you tell me your issues with money, know that you're not the only one and you live with 3 people who are sharing the bills.
Excuse me?
Baking powder? This is super inappropriate for a multitude of reasons.
It crosses every boundary that has ever been created.
Like,
it's so inappropriate.
As an employer, it doesn't really matter how your team members manage their finances.
No.
Right? Like, you are still responsible to pay them for the work that they're doing.
100%.
Like, and like, if you can't make payroll, if you don't have, like, if the business isn't making enough money to pay people, then you cannot afford to have people working for you, and you need to be doing that work yourself.
Right?
Like, you can't just say, oh, we didn't make enough, like, it was too slow, we didn't make enough to pay you. It's like, well, then you didn't make enough for me to be here, so I should have been somewhere else working. So it's really none of your business, like, how I'm managing my money, what I'm spending my money on. So I'm assuming, just based on, like, the little context that we have, that the employer like saw the person like going out to lunch or something, and now they're like judging them based on like, you should be bringing your lunch and you should be bringing peanut butter and jellies. Like, well,
how I spend my money is none of your business.
I just said I need to go get groceries.
Right. How do you know that that's like the one time I go out to eat and I eat eggs and ramen every other, like, it also, it's none of your business. We are like in a like relationship where I do work and you pay me.
Yeah.
Wild. I would leave. I would leave.
What would you do?
I mean, obviously, like, the writing's on the wall. There's some real struggle. I would be like, okay, well, I'll make your life easier and I will. But then it's like, then you can't get unemployment when you quit. But I still would leave, honestly. I would go find another job and bounce right out of there, because like missing one payroll because maybe like you're waiting for deposits to clear or something like that. Those things happen. But
but you don't respond in that way. You take the ownership of, hey, here's what's happening. Here's when I'll be able to pay you.
Yeah.
I totally appreciate you, sticking it out with me while I figure these finances out, not like shaming them. And also comparing that like, oh, you make more money than me and I'm raising a kid. Well, that sounds like your fault.
Right? Like, we all know kids are expensive.
No one told you to have a kid.
They cost so much money. Like, I don't know if you know this.
They're so expensive. Like, but I would never like blame that on you and be like, Emily, how dare you ask me for money when I have 2 kids? Like, what?
I can't even like get through that without laughing. Like so? Oh my gosh.
Like, you don't know this. It's just honestly so bizarre. Like, you don't know this person's financial situation and you're like, oh, and you split your bills with between 3 people and I'm over here having to take care of my kid. It's like, but it doesn't matter. They still did work for you.
Right.
So you owe them money.
They could literally be spending their money on drugs and alcohol and living on the street. And like, it doesn't matter because they did work and you owe them money.
Right. Weird.
They could be like burning their money, setting their money on fire. It doesn't matter what they're doing with their money.
Yikes.
Run.
Yikes. All right. Ready for the next story?
They came back?
I found a new one because, old one is gone forever. So here we are. Okay. My boss cut my coworker's workload and gave it to me. Am I wrong for being pissed? I had a meeting with my boss today and he told me that my coworker is going to be working on some other tasks for him in 2024. And to make it fair, he's going to cut my worker's responsibility and give them to me. Can someone please help me understand how that's fair? You're cutting her current responsibilities and giving her additional ones so that her workload is essentially equal to what she's currently doing now, but you're not cutting any of my work and only giving me more work to do. What would you do if you were me? Yeah, no, that's not fair.
Yeah, so there's like a piece missing to this. So it sounds like potentially there's some actually like good rebalancing happening. Like, we're moving some tasks around to make sure that like the right people are doing the right thing.
You.
Right, but no one we missed the crucial step. So whenever at Clockwork, when we talk about rebalancing and like delegating tasks, if there's a lot of tasks moving, like we actually have to start with like the last person in that. Like, if you have to give me tasks and that means that I have to give Gabby something and then Gabby has to free up space and we're hoping Sandy can do it, we actually have to start with Sandy taking that task, like clearing something off Sandy's plate.
Yeah.
So that Gabby can transfer and then I can transfer and then you can transfer, because like that's the only way to do it in a way that doesn't overwhelm anyone and respects everyone's capacity and boundaries. You can't just like, I mean, it's not fair. I'm assuming this person's at full capacity and there's been no conversations about like, is there any way to do these things more efficiently? Like, can we get more done?
Right.
It's just like, no, just double your workload. Yikes.
It's like, I can, like you said, like I can understand if some of these responsibilities are being transferred to me, but that also means that I need to transfer something somewhere else. Or if maybe you were not over capacity, like maybe you did have the capacity, but it sounds like no. It sounds like from your perspective, no, at least.
Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't even say like, oh, they just need to pay you more. Cause that's like, sometimes people, when
Right, I'm
we
getting more.
consolidate a role or we fire someone and now someone else has to pick up that work, you're like, oh, like, can I get paid for that work? It's like, well, if you don't have the capacity, you don't have the capacity. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. Like
Exactly.
making more money isn't going to help you create more time.
Right.
So sounds like we just need to have a conversation, maybe even do a time tracking and show your current manager or boss like what's actually on your plate and have them, maybe you could recommend some reprioritization, or maybe they have some ideas for what you can trash or trim or transfer. But just moving her responsibilities to your plate isn't going to work, because you also have all these other things to do. And I would be really transparent with that. Like, that's not going to work, but I would love to help like reprioritize and figure out like, what do you really think is important for me to do?
Yeah, that's the number one, like the most respectful corporate way is like whenever, okay, and how would you like me to reprioritize XYZ? Or can you help me reprioritize XYZ, because I'm going to need to, and sometimes we need to hold those boundaries because our higher ups are not going to, they just sometimes just have a vision and don't know the inner workings of how everything actually gets done.
All right. What to do when bored at work? My company is very old school and the firm is not familiar with modern day technology. I kid you not, one of my coworkers has a satellite TV because she does not believe in the internet.
Stop.
I'm a fresh grad engineer. I developed a system to finish my 8-hour workday within the span of 45 minutes. My company does not allow me to work from home. I am bored out of my mind. What the hell am I supposed to do for the rest of my days?
Hold on a second. What are you doing that's like you can go from 8 hours to 45 minutes? You should be spending your time creating those systems for everyone else.
Yeah. So this is actually like something that one of my friend's husbands has done basically for his job. And he like built a program that essentially does his work for him. And like he has to like check in on it, but it's like literally a code that does what he's supposed to be manually doing. And so he doesn't really need to like sit at the computer and do it all day. He just lets the code do it. And the company has no idea.
But he works from home.
And he got like employee of the year last year.
But he works from home, right? So he
works from home. So then he like goes
do whatever he wants.
Does whatever he wants. Yeah. Like he still has to like check in or like be on meetings sometimes,
right.
But in terms of the workload, like he greatly reduced the amount of time that he needs to be like physically doing the work, because he is smart enough that he built some code to like do most of it for him. So I'm like, kudos,
Wow.
But yeah, if you're not working from home, I guess my first question is like, could you do more? Like, is there the opportunity to do more work? Like, or is it, oh, I only have this much in a given day and then it's done and I have to wait till the next day? Because I wonder, could you, work your way up the ladder a little bit more quickly just by
taking on a few
getting more done? Because it also sounds like even in that 45, like even if you work for 2 hours, like could you get 2 days of work done? Like, I don't know.
Right.
And to your point, like, could you build something that's other people could use and now you have like become this huge value add to the organization? Or are they going to be not okay with whatever you're currently doing?
Yeah.
If they're not okay with what you're currently doing, then what I would do in my spare time is learn another skill, like learn a new skill that's either going to make you more valuable to the current company so you can earn more, or make you more valuable to the next company that you would like to work for or something like that.
Right.
Because yeah, if you have to sit there for the other 7 hours, that's pretty painful. You want to be doing something.
Right.
Just for your own sanity.
I couldn't do it. I mean, I could sit there for like probably like a week or two. I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to read my book and stuff like that. But then are you supposed to like keep up the appearances that you're working the whole time?
Right. Like, are you supposed to pretend like when people walk by, does it need to look like you're working?
Like typing away at your computer? Like,
or do they not care?
Because I'd be like, okay, well,
I'm kind of done. I'm going to go home for the day.
Like, if we're going to be like, if this is the
I would also probably.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think it really depends on like, is this like, do you think this would be approved of or not?
Right. Like, are you being
If
sneaky,
it's approved
sneaky?
of, I'm talking to my manager and I'm being like, hey, either
Yeah.
give me more responsibilities and a promotion, or I'm just gonna go home after my 1 hour because I'm done with my
Right.
works.
Like, you pay me for this output and or like the outcome, and I'm able to deliver the outcome in 1/8 of the time. So bye.
Yeah. And
That
if
is
it's not gonna be
wild.
approved, then you just need to play solitaire.
You go for a good solitaire. Tetris.
I used to play solitaire at my work, and then if someone would come around, you got to minimize it real fast.
Real fast, yeah. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that now. I can just freely play solitaire.
Play. You just play. I haven't played solitaire so long. I don't even know if my Mac has it.
My
Maybe I
Mac
was always
doesn't.
on like PCs.
It was,
Yeah.
Good times.
The good old days. Because I used to have a job where, like, yeah, I just had to like sit in my chair till the end of the workday, even if I was done for the day.
Yikes.
Which is one of my biggest pet peeves. So I probably wouldn't last there very long if they wouldn't like let me do other things, you know?
Right. Like, if they're not going to accept that I'm like made improvements and then give me more responsibility or reduce my workday, then I probably would find something new eventually. Like, I wouldn't be in a rush, but I would keep my eyes like open for other opportunities where you can be challenged or at least have more freedom in your day. Because that's what, part of me, that's wild.
I wish I was that smart.
I don't think, I've been sitting here thinking, like, I don't think my job could be automated.
You know, I saw this article the other day about like how work from home jobs are getting replaced by AI. And I was like, that seems like a really broad stroke assessment of something that doesn't really make sense, because work from home jobs aren't all created equal. Like, just because you work from home doesn't mean that like technology could do your job.
No.
You know, like just because you can do your job with a computer, like most people can do their jobs with a computer, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a computer can do your job.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like I need a computer to do my job, but like a computer can't do a coaching
computer
call.
Can't just do your job. Yeah.
And I've tried to have the computer write sales emails and they're trash. So
yeah, like these two things are, what's it, like correlated but not
yeah. Anyway, I know what you're saying.
Correlation, not causation.
There you go. We got there. You got there.
That's the one. That's the statistics term. Correlation, not causation, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not because you have a work from home job. There's something else going on and there's some correlation. But I just thought that was a really poor article of like, no. AI is not coming to take over everyone's jobs who works from home.
No, they're not.
But it obviously, you know, some people are able to like build these systems and stuff. And that's why I would be building a new skill, because if you can do your job in 45 minutes, they're probably going to catch on at some point and just give 90% of your job to a computer.
Yeah. So what else can you do that brings like the human value to it? I actually just shared a post about that on the Run the Clockwork LinkedIn this morning, about how like you can build the most like beautiful systems in the world. There's actually like a ClickUp expert who shared, like, you know, he has clients who build all these incredible automations and task management systems inside of ClickUp using Zapier and stuff like that. But deadlines are still being missed and tasks are still being missed because these automations don't take into account the actual capacity of the individual human beings. So it's just like, it just does the thing. It just checks all the boxes, but like the actual human beings are the ones who have to do the work.
Yeah, like the people doing the work are not robots, so it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. So where like, so you can have gorgeous, beautiful, stunning systems, but like people have to actually implement them most of the time. And they are such a wild card. We're the worst. We're so inconsistent as a species.
People are the worst.
Some days I can do so much in a day, and other days, like, did I even turn my computer on? Like, I did, but why? You know?
But what happened?
But what did I do? Nothing. even though I felt like I was busy all day, at the end of the day, I'm like, what the heck did I do today?
I know.
And then other days I'm like a robot and I'm just cranking out stuff all day long. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best day of the week. As long as I have one of those days a week, I'm good.
Yesterday, I was cranking stuff out like a robot, and I was like, you know, most of the time when you're working, you're like, damn, I don't have enough time, or like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
I'm like trying to get this done so fast. And yesterday, like, I was doing something, and then I was like, oh, it's only 12:08. Like, oh, like everything was taking me way less time than I anticipated, which like never happens, you know? Never. And I was like, oh my God, I have so much time. Like, look at me just like banging things out.
Banging things out.
That's not the norm.
You got to take that.
The norm is I stare at my computer for a full 30 minutes before I even start doing something because
daunting.
I'm overwhelmed.
Okay, well, we're only at 36 minutes, so I'm going to end this episode by asking you on the pod the 2 questions that we talked about on our Run Like Clockwork Enneagram call this week. And they don't need to be like long, deep answers, but the 2 questions are, what would you tell January 2023 version of yourself? And what are you most looking forward to creating more of this year?
Well, what I had said then and still stands now is I would tell January 2023 Adrian to buy the Taylor Swift tickets. And you so eloquently turns that into a life lesson, because
I just feel like it's deep.
Just like I was like just taking it very shallow.
Yeah.
Like, no, I really would have like bought the tickets, you know?
Like, yes, and
and you were kind of looking at it as like a message for my life of like, just do the thing, say yes, right?
Say
like,
yes. I will never get over, like, I will never not be mad at myself for the amount of times that you, Dee, and I sat looking at these tickets for days and being like, this is too expensive. And now that's like a quarter of the price.
Like, oh, $500 for an obstructed view? No way.
Oh my gosh, no. I'm kicking
I looked
myself.
at like the Miami tickets the other day, and they were $2,500 was like the minimum per ticket, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. So I feel you. Buy the tickets.
Buy the
physically
tickets, do the thing.
Metamorphically, that's not a word.
Metamorphosis?
Like
metamorphosize?
I think I meant like literally and figuratively is what I was trying to say, and I don't know how I got to metamorphically, but
metamorphically. Literally and figuratively, buy the tickets, do the thing, go live your life, because you can't take your money to the grave with you.
And not even just about money, but just like, just jump in, just do it.
For Taylor Swift, it's about the money, but not always about the money. Just like generally speaking, I'm trying to live my life a little bit more fully now that I'm like on the other end of babies. I feel like I'm in full toddlerhood, which is, I'm, you know, like a little bit more.
Has its own challenges, but comes with its own freedoms. Yeah. I was literally going to say you're living life fuller. So I'm glad that you said that too. And what do you want more of in 2024?
More of fun. That was like, I definitely want more fun. I want more like more connection. Like I'm trying to do like more in-person things. Like I want more, maybe I don't know if the word is opportunities, but like I want to be saying yes to more opportunities. I want to be putting myself in the rooms where I can get more opportunities. I feel like I used to be really good at that, and I've kind of fallen into a cave for the past few years just because of COVID and babies. But I'm like ready to get out there again and like receive more of that. And yeah, I think those are my big ones.
Nice.
What about you? For both?
What I would tell myself, like my year ago version of myself, is like, girl, you really need to stop overthinking things. Life is, I think what I said was like, there's a lot more joy in life if you just go with like, just stop overthinking and just do it. So very similar to the Taylor Swift theme of like the joy, like there's so much joy to be had and fun to be had, like, but I ruin it. It's self-sabotage with overthinking everything. And so this year, along the same thread, I'm looking for more like really soaking in the wins, because there are lots of little wins that are happening all the time. And I think they get glossed over in the need to like get more, do more, succeed more. Or in the, I think sometimes we're so busy like trying to learn and be better that we're not actually celebrating the wins that we did hit, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I want to pull the lessons out of everything, but also like some of the stuff is just a win all on its own. And so just like acknowledging that more. So
that's something I need to get better at too. So I'm glad that that's part of your focus.
Yeah, because I'll drag you along with me.
Yeah, as an Enneagram 3, I know that I just like bulldoze over like achievements and don't even recognize them, and then just want never like, the next thing. Yeah, it's not enough. Like, yeah, who cares? Just move forward.
Yeah,
like versus acknowledging, like, oh, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So cool. I love it. I would love to hear what everyone else is doing for the new year. Like, do you have a way that you set intentions, or are you just like,
what have your reflections been? Yeah.
What are you looking forward to? We'd love to hear from you over on our Instagram. You can go to @DearWorkWives.
Yep.
Follow us, talk to us.
Please.
We'd love to hear it. And please share this podcast with a friend in the new year, because we're trying to grow. We're trying to reach more people, and
we're trying to make
the best way to do that is for you to share it with one friend.
Sharing is caring.
I really appreciate that. Sharing is caring. Even if you just share like one of our clips from Instagram.
Yeah.
Those are usually nice and easy, you know? Put it to your stories. Be like, go check these girls out.
All right.
Maybe that can be your New Year's gift to us.
I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. Well, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Bye.